you curious about living in Shoreline, Washington? From the shopping, the restaurants, the schools, the housing market, this video is for you. Stay tuned. Hi, my name is Gus Montgomery, and today we're going to do a Google Map tour of Shoreline, Washington, so you can find out everything you need to know about living in Shoreline. So follow me to my laptop.
Hi, welcome back to my laptop for the Google Map tour of Shoreline, Washington. So Shoreline, Washington is located just north of Seattle, Washington. It's a very popular suburb for those that live outside of Seattle. If we check out the distance from Shoreline to Seattle, and let's look at it without traffic. Shoreline is about a 15-minute drive away from Seattle without traffic. Granted, there's always traffic when you drive into Seattle. So for example, let's check out a morning commute time from Shoreline to downtown Seattle. Let's pick a time of 6:30. Okay, it ranges up to 22 minutes, which is not bad, especially in Seattle traffic. Now, you are a 15-minute drive away from Seattle without traffic. That's downtown Seattle. You're actually really close to the north part of Seattle in neighborhoods like the Northgate and Green Lake. So if you look at, the commute from Shoreline to Green Lake, it's only a 10-minute drive. So yes, you're 15 minutes away from downtown Seattle. But if you want to check out things in the north part of Seattle, like Green Lake, Bitter Lake, Maple Leaf, you have that option as well. And when you live this close to Seattle, you're gonna be in Seattle very often. So that's one of the perks of living in Shoreline. Now let's look at the airports. From Shoreline to SeaTac International Airport without traffic, it's about a 24 to 30-minute drive. SeaTac International Airport is the #1 airport in Washington State, so we'll have the biggest selection of state-to-state flights or international flights as well. For those that are new to my channel, I like to talk about this second option for airport quite often, especially if you're north of Seattle. And that is Payne Field Airport. Now, if you look without traffic from Shoreline to Payne Field, it's about an 18-minute drive. So Payne Field is a great option if you're flying to cities in Arizona, California, and Nevada. It's a small airport. It has only one security line. It kind of reminds me like a hotel lobby type vibes, as you can see in the picture. Really modern, really small. And there's a picture of the security checkpoint, but super convenient if you're flying to cities in Nevada, Arizona, and California. So I definitely want to include that. Next up, let's talk about the shopping in Shoreline, Washington. I'll be honest. Yes, there are some grocery stores, some smaller boutique stores in the city of Shoreline, but I'm just going to tell you the best options when you live in Shoreline, and the best options are going to be slightly out of Shoreline. Because one of the biggest perks of living in Shoreline is you're super close to Seattle. And you're really close to the north part of Seattle in neighborhoods like Northgate. Now, there used to be a Northgate Mall right here. These pictures are a little outdated. There isn't a mall at Northgate anymore. Oh, and my apologies. Let's check out the distance from Shoreline to Northgate. It's about an 8-minute drive right now. But right by what we call the Northgate Station, you have a lot of different stores, even though the mall is no longer there. You have stores like Target, which is a very popular store in the area. Honestly, probably the best Target in Seattle, if we're just being honest. There's a Target in the Ballard, U Village, but this one might be the best Target in Seattle, honestly. You also have, oh, wrong one. You also have a Best Buy, which is the same parking lot as Target. So this is actually a really good picture of what you have at this Northgate location. So you have a Target, a Dick's Sporting Goods. The Ross is actually no longer there, but then you also have a Best Buy. So the Target and Best Buy, two very popular locations, and you also have a Nordstrom Rack as well. So fans of the Nordstrom Rack, you have that at the Northgate Station, which is about an 8-minute drive away from Shoreline. Another option for shopping, it's not in Shoreline, but I want to give you the best options when you do live in Shoreline, and that would be the Alderwood Mall. And Alderwood Mall is one of the premier malls in Western Washington. If you're looking at the distance from Shoreline to Alderwood Mall, it's about a 13-minute drive. The Alderwood Mall is a popular indoor-outdoor mall with a bunch of department stores and AMC. I've talked about this mall quite often on my YouTube channel because it's such a nice mall, super packed. They're saying that malls are dying, which they are at some locations, but this mall seems to be thriving. A lot of good options as far as stores, as you can see in the picture, like Nordstrom and REI, and a lot of good restaurant selections as well. Definitely want to shout out Alderwood Mall and the Northgate areas for shopping options in the Shoreline area. All right, next up, let's talk about restaurants in Shoreline. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. One of my all-time favorite restaurants is located in Shoreline. And I definitely want to shout that out first, and that is the Grill King in Shoreline. So Grill King is a all-you-can-eat Korean barbecue. I'm a big fan of Korean barbecue. I've eaten at, I want to say, almost 10 different Korean barbecue spots in Seattle, and this by far is my favorite one. Just the quality of food is phenomenal at this establishment. So if you are a fan of Korean barbecue, or if you're curious about trying Korean barbecue, definitely try out the Grill King in Shoreline. Parking is a little tight. If you go on the weekend, it will be a little bit busy. You may have to wait. They don't do reservations, but they do a great job. Some other Shoreline restaurants that I want to highlight is Akuri El Sabor. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Mexican restaurant, really great tacos, really good tacos and burritos. You definitely want to highlight that restaurant. Another restaurant I want to highlight is formerly known as the Royal Dumplings House. If you're a fan of dumplings or other Chinese food, definitely want to give this spot a highlight. And the last restaurant I want to highlight is Spiro's Pizza and Pasta. One thing about living in Seattle, Shoreline, you have a lot of different pizza selection options. So it's really good to know that this place is so highly rated, and you can find a place that highly rated in Shoreline. All right, next up, let's talk about things to do in Shoreline. So yes, you are conveniently located next to Seattle. So you do have the luxury of going to Seattle and experiencing different events that they have in the area, especially in the north end, like Green Lake. You got Wallingford as well. But for the sake of this video, let's just highlight some places in Shoreline that you can enjoy. First on the list, I want to recommend is Richmond Beach Saltwater Park. At Beachfront Park, you got walking trails, picnic shelters, playground with beautiful Puget Sound views. And Shoreline makes it a very popular suburb of Seattle that people seek when they're looking to buy a home. So definitely want to highlight Richmond Beach Saltwater Park. Next up, I want to highlight is Kruckelberg Botanic Garden. Great thing about the Pacific Northwest, we have different botanical garden options up and down I-5 in Western Washington, and you have one conveniently located in Shoreline. So this botanical garden has been open since 1958 with many native and exotic plants and rare trees. And they got tours, events. I know they have classes for kids as well. I also wanted to mention the Shoreline Farmers Market. Great thing about this area is we have a lot of farmers markets in different cities and in different neighborhoods. Shoreline has a really well-renowned farmers market. So if you're a fan of fresh produce, supporting local small businesses. And as I mentioned before, you are close to Seattle for their events, but you got Edmond, which is a beautiful area right on the water as well. Be on the lookout for Edmond's video sometime in the future. But yeah, you have a lot of great options with things to do in Shoreline. All right, next up, let's talk about schools in Shoreline. So the public school district is Shoreline School District. It serves Shoreline and Lake Forest Park, has about 9,000 students and about 15 different schools. One thing I like to do in my videos as far as schools is look at the high school facilities just to give you an idea of the facilities in that district. So Shoreline Public Schools, Shoreline School District has two high schools that we're going to look at. The first one we're going to look at is Shorecrest High School. So we're checking out the facilities at Shorecrest High School, located in Shoreline, Washington. Really good looking exterior at Shorecrest High School. This gives you an idea of the facilities in the Shoreline School District. Let's look at the other high school in Shoreline School District, which is Shorewood High School. Home of the Thunderbirds. Great look at the gym facilities. Got a look at the neighborhood of the high school. Actually, let's go back. Check out the surroundings of the high school. Looks like you can see the fields and the parking lot. Yeah, really good to see just an idea of where the high school is located to get a feel of the school district. All right, next up, let's talk about the housing market in Shoreline, Washington. One thing I like to do is look at the median home prices for a single family home and a condo, just to give you an idea of both markets. All right, so for a single family home in Shoreline, the median home price is $799,000. For condos, it's $520,000. So at the time of this recording, that is the median home price of Shoreline. Now, if we compare that to Seattle, Washington, the median home price for single family homes in Seattle is $875,000. For condos is $525,000. So condo median home prices are about the same for Shoreline and Seattle. The single family home, Seattle's about $75,000 to $80,000 more. So for single family homes, Seattle has a higher median home price than Shoreline, not by much, but still higher. Now, if you look at the price appreciation of Shoreline Washington, let's look at the median home price for Shoreline back in January of 2020. So the median home price for Shoreline in January of 2020 was $610,000. For condos, it was $350,000. So Shoreline price has appreciated since January 2020 of close to, $200,000, almost $200,000 in price appreciation for single family homes. And for condos, about $170,000. So it's good to see that the Shoreline neighborhood, the suburb of Seattle, is continuing to appreciate in price. And this was just to give you an idea of the housing market in Shoreline, Washington.
All right, that is it for the Google Map tour of Shoreline, Washington. If you find value in this content, please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll continue to provide more value going forward. Until next time, take care.